Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am here with layout number 7 of our 12 Days of Christmas, Christmas layouts. And you may have noticed that we kind of skipped Sunday, and I am sorry about that, but I just had a lot going on, as you can imagine, with the holidays. And so this is going to be just a really quick, easy layout. And I hope you like it. I hope it's something that you can use. You're going to need 2 pieces of navy cardstock. You're going to need the golden page with the ornaments on it from your Joy to the World collection or something similar. And then you're going to need 3 complementing colored papers, and you'll need 2 strips of, or just 1 page of each, or scraps if you have scraps. These green pieces that I have are going to end up being, as you can see, they're going to end up being 8 by 2 1/4. So you'll need enough to make 2 of those. You're going to need enough of the red or a complementary colored page. That would be 6 inches by 2 inches on 2 of those. So you could get 2 out of a 12-inch strip of 2 inches if you have that, which would be perfect. And then this cute little berry print with the navy background is going to also be 2 inches wide, but only going to be about 4.5 inches high. So those are the papers that you'll need, along with a little bit of, I did use some orange shimmer for the flame that we're going to put on. These are going to be candles. So I used our campfire punch, as it has a really nifty flame piece, but I don't think we're going to be using the entire flame. We'll probably punch it and then trim it just a little bit with our trimming scissors. All right, so let's get started, and this should go together pretty quick. And as you'll notice, since we are skipping Sunday, we are probably going to go past Christmas just a little bit. And I am sorry about that, but yeah, my time just got away from me. So we will be able to get this one done really quick, and then I will get some more of them recorded for you, and we'll be in business again very shortly here. So stick those up there just to give me some extra space for my backgrounds here. What you're going to do is you're going to align these candles in such a way that, excuse me, that they complement each other. Now, the one in the back is the higher one, and it is in the center. So you'll want to kind of space these the way you would like. And I just have them flush with the bottom of my page, which you can do this however you prefer, but I'm just going for really easy to line up, easy to keep them uniform so that they are the same for both pages. And I'm just gonna take a look at this real quick and make sure that this is what I want, and see if there's anything that I might want to add anywhere. And I think this is just going to be a very simple type of a page here. Okay, so I do recall we are going to need something to make a wig, which I did not tell you to get out. So if you have some kind of little piece of scrap that's a tan or a light beige color, get that out. We'll use that as our wick and scrapbook on the fly a little bit today. But I think that's all we're going to do. And then we're going to do use our gold paper as our mats. So we'll get those cut when we decide what size we want them. So let's go ahead, and we're going to adhere this green one down, and you'll know one of the reasons I really like scrapbooking on a mat like I've got down here on my table is because it protects my table when I use my different cutting mechanisms, but also because it allows me to see approximate measurements when I am trying to get something close to the same. So this is going to get glued down or adhered, I guess I should say, with our permanent adhesive, because I have no intention of fussing with it. Even if it's just a little off, I am going to leave it, because that's the kind of layout this is. This is going to get put on at about 1 1/4 inches from the corner. And I'm going to just adhere that down. You'll notice I didn't put any adhesive on the end, so if I need to slip something behind there like the wick, I should be able to do that pretty easily because I didn't seal that end. All right, so here's going to be our second candle. I hope you're okay with this really fairly simple layout for this time around, because it should be really quick, and it's nice to have a quick layout that still has somewhat of an impact on it. And this, I'm just going to leave about 3/8 of an inch between the candles, roughly, so that you can still see the green candle as it goes all the way down to the base of the layout. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to start with the green. And remember, you don't go from one end of your paper all the way down with your adhesive. You only need just a little bit in a few places, and you are good to go. So now, because I've got my grid, remember, I can look at it and say, okay, my 1.5 or 1.25 mark is going to be roughly right there. So without having to lay my papers together, I feel confident that that's a good spot. Another way you can do it if you don't have a mat is you can lay this page over this page and then be able to get them spaced the same. Sometimes it's easier if you can just know the measurements, but do what you've got to do. All right, and then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna leave about 3/8 of an inch between these. So that's about 3/8 of an inch right there. All right. Now we're going to, let's go ahead and punch our flames. And if you just have a tiny little scrap of paper at home that you want to use for a flame, I hope you know that you do not have to put your paper all the way down to the base of this punch, because if you do, you're going to punch the wooden logs and the flame, which I don't need the wooden logs, I only need the flame. So you'll notice I didn't put my paper in all the way. I only put it in a certain amount of the way. If you peek inside your punch, you can see approximately where that flame is going to hit your paper. And then you can punch accordingly. And if you get a little bit of the log in there, okay, but you know, I don't like to waste paper, so I do my best to try and not punch something I don't need to punch. Occasionally, it's harder to get stuff right next to each other, you know, so there's more of a gap than I would have liked, but it's okay. It is what it is. All right. So we have our flames. Actually, I need 6 flames. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think I wasn't thinking. That's what I think. Okay, so here's another one. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna just punch one more just in case, because one of them I got a little bit close and I might not like it. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna get out my precision scissors with this nice fine point on the end, just because. And actually, let's just take a look. What would it look like if we put those flames right where our candles went? I suppose that would be okay if we had the whole flame. We probably don't need to cut it. If you want some variation in your flame, you might want to cut it so that you don't have, you know, all three of them looking exactly the same. But I suppose they look okay that way. What we might want to do, I like the shimmeriness of that shimmer paper, and I don't have any yellow because right now we don't have any yellow shimmer paper, but I sure wish that we did, and maybe one day we will. So let's see. Right now I'm going to go ahead and just cut some small strips about 1/8 of an inch wide, not hardly anything, so that I can use these as wicks in my candles. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good, I can count. All right, so let's see. We're going to use our repositionable adhesive, and I'm going to squish these together just a little bit so that you can still see, and I have a place that I can put adhesive on my paper. I love it. I love repositionable adhesive because you can just work with it and do whatever you want to with it, and it doesn't matter. So I can do like that, and then I can put a little bit on the back of that flame and fit that right over the top of my wick. There's my flame for my candle. And you'll notice my edges of these wicks are going to be kind of irregular, but that's on purpose because I want them to be irregular. Wicks never look the same, unless you're looking at a birthday candle that's been in the package for forever, right? So candles that have burned are going to have unusual wicks. Okay, here we go. Just a little bit more, and this layout is going to be all done. Really quick one for you today. Okay. I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool and just lift that paper up because my nails are getting redone tomorrow. I'm so excited. But now they don't lift my paper up super well. Okay, there we go. There's 3 down. And we've got 3 more to go. Over here on this side. All right. That one much better. I'm just sliding these wicks underneath that paper. Remember how I mentioned that the paper was not glued down on the top on purpose so that I could slide paper underneath it. This is a great example of that. Needing to use it that way. There we go. Come on, turn around. All right, so I want my flame to go varying different directions. So you'll notice that I've got it going 2 different ways, and that's on purpose. So I have a little bit of variation. Oh, well, look at that. Now all 3 of those are the same. I don't want that. So I'm gonna just rub my repositionable adhesive right off because I put it on the wrong side of this flame. And this is a great example of why I love repositionable adhesive, because if you do what I did and you put it on the wrong side, all you do is just rub it off. It comes right off. It doesn't make you sticky. It doesn't make your project sticky. Just works brilliantly. All right, so there's our flames. Now we're going to cut some mats real quick. And let me grab my mat samples and we'll decide what kind of mats we want to put on here. All right, so sometimes we do a really big frame for a really special picture. And so that one is a 4.5 by 6. And that's kind of an odd size, but here 4.25 by 6.25. It's probably more like what I would do because I like a lot of 4 by 6s. And sometimes I like to mat them a little bit larger. And we could do kind of a narrower photo, a 4 by 6, and a 5.5 by 2.75. And we could do a couple of 4 by 6s up here. And then maybe, let's see, maybe a couple of 3 3/4. Maybe more like 3.5. Let's do a couple of 3.5 squares. And then that way you can also add just a little piece of your matting paper, and you could put a piece of it down here so you could write and journal. You could put a title up here in this corner, and then journal down here. Maybe a tiny little embellishment up in this corner. Or we could move all of this down. Just a little bit. And you could embellish or journal up here. Just some ideas. I think I'm gonna do a 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 so that my frame is a little larger on this one. And then we'll follow the rest of these guidelines. Let's see if I can get all of that out of this one page of designer paper. I'm going to move this here for just a quick second so that I have space to put my trimmer. And let's go ahead and we'll just cut the 4 by 6s that are going to go on that page. Quickly, we're almost done. This is a really quick layout. Okay, so there's those 2. Then we're looking at 3.5 by 3.5. 3.5 and 3.5. It's going to be here. I don't know, I might not have enough do what I want to do here, but that's okay. We'll modify it if we need to. Okay, so 3.5 by 3.5, 3.5 by 3.5. So there's 2 that match. Sorry, I'm mumbling there just a little bit. All right, so those will go on there. Then we've got, how much do we have left? We have 4.5, and we need 4.25 by 6.25. So let's go ahead and cut our 6.25 this way. 6.25 by 4.25. All right, that will take that spot. Then I needed a 4 by 6, but as you can see, I'm a little short. So I'm still going to use this page for that. I'm just going to go ahead and, or this piece for that. I'm just going to go ahead and trim it at 4 inches. And this is 5.75. And that's going to be my mat for that photo. And then this photo here needed to be about 2.75, but actually I think I could make it a little bit wider. I could make it a 3-inch wide piece, and it's not going to be as tall as I wanted, but that's okay. So we're going to do 3 inches. And I'm going to leave the height on that. And that'll be just fine. I like that actually. So let me go ahead and get these adhered on. A lot of times when I am doing a layout and I don't have the photos that I want to go on it just yet, I've heard several scrappers say they can't do a layout without having your photos in their hand. And I understand that. It used to be that way actually, but what I have found is I really, really like having these ready-made layouts. So by the way, you could use this side, but I just like the gold side because it matches with the candles. I just use my repositionable adhesive. I put a little bit in the middle. Hold on, that one's done. Let's grab another one here real quick. Okay, I just put a tiny bit in the middle, and that kind of adheres it to the page and in a spot where I would normally put a photo. And then that way, when I get ready to put my photos on here, if I have a horizontal photo that I would rather put in that spot, I can go ahead and put that photo in there and just move the mat really easily. It's still going to cover up that spot where that adhesive is. So if my adhesive should remove any of the color from the cardstock, which occasionally it does do, it won't show because I'm going to cover it with a photo either way. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use a wider, I'm going to use my chalking pen or one of my silver pens to journal on this page since the paper is so dark. I'm going to stick this one up here in the corner. It's always a good idea to try to keep your margins the same when you are matting photos or mounting them on here. If you can keep your photos lined up and the margins the same width, gives more alignment to your design and just brings more cohesion to your whole layout. So even though these are different sizes, the border around those photos is the same. And that's the important part. All right, so I'm going to just put this an equal distance between these two and about halfway in between these right here. And then that way I can add some stickers or some embellishments, something cute. Let's see what we've got that would be cute on this page. We've got some ornaments, which would match our ornaments in the matting paper. We could play around with how those go on there. Or let's see. I've got an angel. That might be cute. Kind of stick right there. I'm really liking the gold rather than too much of the other. I don't know if I'm liking that actually. Let's do this because you need them in 3 key points. So I'm going to move these guys over here. Like so. All right, and then we'll put our angel kind of at the corner of this one. We'll have a title up here when I'm able to get that printed out. And let's see if we have anything else that really cute. I do have these actual candles that we could add along with that flower. Yeah, I kind of like that. Or maybe just not the flower, maybe just candles. And pop them up. Let's pop them up with some foam squares. Let's see what else I've got here. I do see I have a present also, but I think that might be more than I want. So let's do this. We'll put move the angel over just a little, and I'm going to use foam squares. Pop it up off the paper, off the paper, because then it will give my page more definition. Just never a bad thing to have more definition to your page. So we'll put that one there. Add some squares to this one. And I love that we have foam squares in different sizes because it enables you to put a foam square in a tiny little place like that. What's easier to see? How about that? So these 1/2-inch squares would mess up the design and I would find myself feeling compelled to cut them, which definitely would not be fun. But I would do it because I would feel compelled to do it. Do you have things in your life that are like that? I definitely have things in my life that are like that. All right. So all of my embellishments now have some foam to get them up off the page. I could even have probably brought the flames up off the page with some foam squares too. That would have been really cute idea as well. And would have definitely helped them stand out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. You'll notice with this one, I did not put anything on the actual flames of this embellishment because it's going to stick up over where my photo is going to go. And I just don't want to have to worry about the fact that my photo is going to have to go underneath there. So that helps also. holiday season there. I'm gonna go ahead and put my ornament on here, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of an addition that you can do if you are putting ornaments like this, kind of free floating on the page. Obviously, you're not going to have free floating ornaments. So to give it just a little bit more of a realistic look, obviously this isn't real, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But we're going to go ahead and draw in some ribbon or something like that for those ornaments. And I'm going to use the chalking pen that we have. And you could use, like I said, you can use the chalking pen if you have it. You could use a silver pen or a gold pen. Actually, you know what? With all the gold that's on here, I should probably use gold. Sorry. The chalking pen is really cool if you have one. It is a really neat pen. But we also have these element pens that are great for journaling, and they come in all sorts of different colors. And I'm just going to do a few squiggles with dots to keep my ornaments from being completely free floating. And then that way they have something they're hanging from. And since I have my pen out, let's go ahead and just add a couple of cute little dots to our other embellishments as well. Just because we can. All right. Candles too. There we go. All right, so this was just a really quick layout. I hope it works for you and you can use it in your holiday layouts. I also hope that you've been able to find some time to go ahead and get in those creative moments with your family through this holiday season. I'll be back tomorrow with another layout for you, and we'll continue until we get to 12. All right, thanks so much. Happy holidays.